come back to France now, but for something a little less politics related. Here in Paris, starting today, the city's terraces and outdoor dining areas can stay open until midnight. We're going to talk about this more with Solange Mougin, who joins me on the set. Hi, Solange.
Hi, Dini.
So just to start, why did Paris decide to extend these hours?
Well, quite simply to allow people to faire la fête, or to party, to celebrate the summer and, above all, the Olympic Games. Paris' City Hall announced this past spring that it was going to do something special for the Games in regard to one of the major emblems of French society, les terrasses. It decided that starting July 1st, today, that the city's cafes, bars, and restaurants could keep their summer outdoor eating and drinking areas open until midnight instead of 10 p.m. So for cafe and restaurant owners, this is great news. As the 10 p.m. cutoff, well, it has often been a source of a lot of frustration when the curfew is respected.
The 10 o'clock rule was a bit difficult, to have to explain to clients that they had to leave at 10 p.m.
With the closing of terraces at 10 p.m., we had the difficulty of not being able to do a second seating for diners or even drinks on the terrace. It creates profits that aren't trivial.
Now, this until midnight Cinderella-like extension runs until the end of the Paralympic Games on Sunday, September 8th. It is, the city says, a way for Parisians and tourists to basically reap the benefits of the Games by going to a match, and then after those matches being able to have a joie de vivre moment or have a meal, a drink al fresco.
So Solange, tell us a bit more about the history of terraces. How did they come to be so associated with Paris and France in general?
Well, it comes from the Latin term terrasses, which means earth, or terre in French. And the term, of course, initially referred to the flat land used in agriculture. But as for the habit of sitting and having a drink or a cafe in the sun, other nations like Italy and Spain, they also have strong terrace cultures, which stem actually from the influence of the Ottoman Empire, just like coffee, which is often associated with these terraces. This is the case as well in France. But in Paris, where the climate is a bit cooler, it's thought that the terraces really got their wings of sorts when Louis XIV redesigned the city. First as rented out spaces along wooden boardwalks that were actually covering pits, and then as a place to admire the surrounding countryside along Paris's exterior areas. These terraces are at once a place where you observe the world, but are also observed. It has much to do with Parisians' relationship to the street. And since the 17th century, in happy times, but also in politically fraught ones, you could even say right now, but in very serious ones as well, like World War II, the city's terraces, they have stayed constant. They've been places where people talk, they catch up, they take a moment to reflect, redesigned the world, as the French often say. It is this bistro culture that the French, but also visitors, are so attached to, be it in Paris or across the country.
Rain or shine, we're always sitting on the terrace. When we get cold, we ask for a blanket from the owner.
It's not raining. Even if it's cold, we'll be here because I smoke.
With the open-air ambience, we're chilling.
We need it. Man, we missed it.
Today, people want to go out and be together, to have fun. Of course, it does create noise and a bother for those that want to stay calm.
Okay, so Solange, keeping the terraces open to midnight is great for many people, except for those who perhaps live just above the cafe. I mean, noise has already been a problem in French cities, and especially with outdoor terraces, and especially in Paris. So what kind of problems is that going to cause?
Well, the uptake really happened because of a shift during COVID. To help cafes and restaurants, the city allowed them to take over 2 parking spots in front of their businesses, as well as one to the left and one to the right, after COVID. Now, these terrasses éphémères and estivales, or ephemeral and summer terraces, they were such a success that the city made this an annual thing, but on the condition that these shops and restaurants have a permit and they pay a rental fee for these temporary spots. This is during the summer, warmer months. This year, the season kicked off April 1st for some 4,000 of these summer terraces, and it runs until the end of October. Now, such moves are part of a bigger, larger quest by the city to make Paris more agreeable, walkable, less car-focused. But, as you mentioned, it's also created a number of noise complaints. Over 20,000 complaints were made last year because of these temporary terraces. Thousands of fines were also issued. So it's still very much a work in progress between those that want to sleep, that may live above the terraces, and those who want to party. But one thing is for sure, the city wants Parisians and visitors to have fun during the games. And it's allowing bars that ask for permission for this to stay open all night long for the opening ceremony. So there are some wild times ahead.
Oh, for sure. All right, Solange, thank you for that little breath of fresh air, stepping away from French politics. They're talking about French terraces. Solange Michon, thank you so much.